This is Real News Media TV, coverage you can trust. Please like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Select all for daily news updates. No motive identified for killing of Breadman in Savannah, Lamar. The Westmoreland police are yet to establish a motive behind Friday night's murder of a man on Great George's Street in Savannah, Lamar in the parish. The deceased has been identified as Leon Reed, alias Chinoman of Dam Road in Johns Hall, St. James. Residents reportedly heard gunshots coming from a section of Great George's Street in the Westmoreland parish at about 6:30 p.m. and alerted the police. Reed's body was later found by the police lying on the ground in a pool of blood. He was pronounced dead at hospital. Reed is said to have sold bread and other goods in Savannah, Lamar. Several Instagram users reacted to his murder. "Them really killed the bread man? Rest up, Chinoman," wrote one social media user. Added another, "Every day is another killing. Condolences to the family and the friends." Shared another Instagram user, "Being a working man in Jamaica really and truly are the most dangerous thing. Rest up, Chino." Meanwhile, the Westmoreland police are probing the development. Clarendon lags behind with a second dose of COVID-19 vaccines. While approximately 50,000 people in Clarendon have been vaccinated with at least one dose of the COVID-19 vaccine, the parish is lagging in terms of second doses, according to the parish's Senior Medical Officer of Health, Dr. Kimberly Scarlett Campbell. "We are still behind in terms of second doses. At least 31,668 persons have received second doses. We have a population of 247,112 persons, so these vaccination blitz that we are having are welcomed," she said during an outside radio broadcast from an immunization drive at the Central High School in Maypen. The drive was organized by the JN Foundation under its Immunize Save Lives campaign December 8. Dr. Scarlett Campbell encouraged people now, due to their second doses of vaccine, to get their shot and said those who have not yet been vaccinated should do so. She also used the opportunity to caution persons to continue to be vigilant and to protect themselves against the virus. Even though the curfews have been relaxed, the COVID-19 protocol still applies, and we will be working with civil society and our colleagues to ensure that the COVID-19 numbers remain low. It is still a requirement for you to wear masks, sanitize your hand, and conduct routine hand washing, she pointed out. The parish has recorded 4,933 cases since the pandemic, which places it fifth among rural parishes. Michael Bent, Regional Director of the Southern Regional Health Authority, said, "With the new COVID-19 variant Omicron, it is important for all Jamaicans to take personal responsibility for their safety. A significant responsibility is on us citizens to follow the protocol, wear your mask, wash your hands, and follow all the protocol so that we can minimize the number of persons coming into our health system," he said. Also speaking at the immunization drive, Claudine Allen, General Manager of the JN Foundation, similarly underscored the importance of the vaccine drives and the importance of getting vaccinated to protect one's self and the family. She also emphasized the need to follow the COVID-19 protocol by wearing a mask, sanitizing, and maintaining physical distance of at least 6 feet from other people. The JN Foundation facilitated the vaccination of some 500 people during the Clarendon leg of its campaign on December 8, bringing the number of vaccinations it has facilitated since October 1 to nearly 1,200. Immunization drives have so far been held in Westmoreland, Manchester, and Clarendon. As part of the initiative, the JN Foundation is also offering an opportunity to persons who get vaccinated from October 1 to December 31 to receive $2,500 on a JN Money card when they upload a photo of their vaccination card on the JN Foundation website www.jnfoundation.com. U.S. helping Jamaica to ease the flow of guns. With the vast majority of guns used to commit crimes in Jamaica originating in the United States, repeated calls for greater efforts by the Americans to deal with the trafficking of firearms to the island seem to be gaining even more traction in the corridors of power in that country. It has long been estimated that as many as 200 guns are smuggled into the island from the U.S. every month, and over the years, American law enforcement agencies have introduced several measures and assistance to help Jamaica stem the flow. But still, the last official report said that of the almost 1,500 weapons seized in Jamaica between 2016 and 2018, 71% came from the U.S. Last Friday, U.S. Deputy Assistant Secretary for the Caribbean Affairs and Haiti in the Bureau of Western Hemisphere Affairs, Mark Wells, told the news that the problem of the trade in illegal firearms in the region is being given special attention by the current administration. Illegal arms trafficking is a significant issue for us throughout the Americas, said Wells during the interview with the news in Kingston. We deal with this issue in several countries. Some of those guns come directly from the United States. Some arrive through secondary illegal sources. I know that they come from other countries and are often associated with drug trafficking and other forms of international crime. So we have a variety of ways that we are working with the government of Jamaica and other governments in the region to try to control those flows. We understand that many of them come from the United States, and we accept that it is a shared responsibility for us to deal with those crimes when we can, added Wells. He pointed out that the U.S. has law enforcement officials in Jamaica to help stop the flow of illegal guns. That would include the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives, as well as Homeland Security investigations that have most of the jurisdictions for those kinds of cases, declared Wells. With an increasingly alarming guns for drugs trade involving criminals in Jamaica and Haiti, Wells, whose portfolio spans both countries, said this is also an area of focus. Haiti is going through a very difficult political, economic, and security crisis, and certainly illegal arms represent a significant challenge to the Haitian government. They are committed to working against the gangs there, and we are bringing our law enforcement capabilities to bear there, declared Wells. We have agencies at post in Haiti to investigate those cases, and that would include the connection between Haiti gangs and Jamaican gangs and the drug trafficking, added Wells. The U.S. official, who was on a 3-day visit to Jamaica to meet with law enforcement and government officials, plus other state and social groups, noted that the U.S. Drug Enforcement Administration is a central figure in the investigations into the trafficking of illegal firearms into the region as well. At the end of November, the Jamaica Constabulary Force reported that 640 illegal guns had been seized across the island since the start of the year. That represented a more than 14% increase over the 560 illegal firearms seized over the same period last year. The JCF also reported that 8,993 rounds of ammunition had been seized in the 11-month period, which was almost 800 more than the amount seized over the same period last year. COVID-19 likened to World War as Mobi frontline workers honored. The Montego Bay Chamber of Commerce and Industry and the Montego Bay-based charity Sarah's Children presented $3.3 million in special awards to 31 frontline workers, including staff of the radiotherapy department at the Cornwall Regional Hospital, during a recent ceremony at the Montego Bay Convention Center in St. James. The awardees, who were recognized for their valiant service during the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic, included members of the Jamaica Constabulary Force, Jamaica Defense Force soldiers, firefighters of the Jamaica Fire Brigade, doctors, nurses, a hospital orderly, and a clinic assistant. The charity and the MBCCI were assisted through a collaboration with sponsors, including JSW Norinco International, which provided television sets collectively valued at $1 million to all 32 awardees. Sangster International Airport Operator MBJ Airports Limited, Private Medical Facilities Hospital, and iDoc Concierge Wellness Services, Sagicor Life Jamaica, the University College of the Caribbean, and the Paris Ruby Gourmet, which provided Christmas cakes to the awardees. The award recipients were described as war heroes and heroines by guest speaker of the ceremony, Dr. Luce Longsworth, a higher education leadership and management consultant who likened the pandemic to a world war. This fight against the COVID-19 is our 21st century war, which in many ways is so much more intense and deadly than World War II was. The enemy that frontline workers are fighting is so much more elusive than the ones of the 20th century. Nurses and doctors' protective forces are fighting against an enemy that you cannot see, one who is in every country of the world, one who mutates and changes shape like the cartoon, like Transformer, to avoid being eliminated by the weapons of science, of vaccines, testing, closed borders, social distancing, online learning, and the sheltering in place, Longsworth noted. Like the world wars of the past, she pointed out that the present enemy has taken lives, threatened people's freedoms, while causing economic decline, increased insecurity and fear. In comparing the casualties of the pandemic to those of World War II, Longsworth, a former pro-vice chancellor of the University of the West Indies Open Campus in Barbados, recalled that while more than 50 million people died in the Second World War over a period of 4 years, COVID-19 has within less than 2 years claimed 5.2 million lives and infected more than 246 million persons. In making the point that Jamaica, like other countries globally, has been engaged in daily battles with COVID-19 and its effect since March of 2020, she said the persons honored have been working around the clock to cure the infected, care for those affected, and to keep all Jamaicans safe from the disease, from crime, and from other forms of harm. She lauded the frontline workers for their dedication and the sacrifice of time, family life, and in many ways their lives. In noting that while almost anything done or said remained inadequate to convey the full extent of the gratitude that is due to frontline and other workers, she said the MBCCI and the Sarah's Children Award initiative was a good way to show appreciation. The guest speaker said in many instances, customer-facing workers simply required respect and courtesy in their everyday interactions with people. The best way to thank our frontline workers is to take personal responsibility for our own actions and emotions, refrain from abusing them out of our own frustrations, follow the protocols that are in place to protect us and them. In short, the best way that we can show gratitude to these amazing men and women is that we become kinder, more compassionate, and more understanding of our doctors, nurses, policemen, soldiers, and firefighters, she said. She noted that while the workers protect Jamaicans in their lines of work, the public also has a duty to protect and care for them in their daily encounters with frontline workers. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Select all for daily news updates.